Whew, we're back. Sorry, I just had to shake a little sleep out of me real quick. We back home, man. Back in Houston. It's your boy K Trades, man. Finally back home. Been a long day, man. Long flight, long everything. Been a long day. But I still gotta come on here and give y'all some good plays, some good content, stuff like that. So let's get straight into it. So today was crazy. I missed most of the whole beginning of the first part of the day because I was on the plane. The plane Wi-Fi be a little be a little on and off sometimes. So I don't really like to trade while I'm in. So I did swing T-Mobile calls and spot calls, but I didn't get a chance to close them. So I ended up having to take an L on those. Very, very unfortunate. Very unfortunate. It's low-key my fault. So I knew I had to fly it, but it is what it is. What it is. But yeah, so let's go inside today, see what happens. So we had yesterday's game plan, right? So basically we had our levels, right? Previous day close. So we gapped up. Boom, failed it, right? Hold on, let's drop down to the 30 on phone. There we go. So yeah, we gapped down or gapped up. My fault. Failed right through it. Right, couldn't recover. Came back down to our trend line. Basically our previous support from over here as well. That's 705. Remember, I was like anything under 705, 706, you got to be a little careful for that. So we did break under there, but when we got the retest, we actually started to reclaim it. And then end of day, we got that Iran news tweet or something like that with it's a no peace treaty. It's just that constant back and forth they're doing. So yeah, so it was pretty wild day. Pretty wild day. I did miss most of it. Like I said, yeah, being up in the air and stuff like that. But nonetheless, we still banked, right? So first off, we banked on T-Mobile. Crazy enough, right? T-Mobile. So I had look, perfect exit. So yeah, so I bought. I don't know if I went over this one live, but I bought T-Mobile 200 calls on Monday, right? So had to kind of just sit through them. Got them for two something, $2 a contract or something like that. And then out of nowhere, I had an alert sitting at 200. Out of nowhere, I'm cleaning up my cat, her little cute self. My cat, she ripped up a bunch of the toilet paper all over my stuff. So I'm like, I'm not even looking at the charts. I'm like, bro, I took an L in the calls, spot calls. I'm like, whatever, I'll sleep today, get some good rest, and then we back at it tomorrow. Is what it is. Everybody takes red days. So I'm like, I'll just take the red day, whatever. Go out to bam, boom. I get this candle, bro. I set the alert. I'm like, oh no, oh no. So we had to smack a little huncho. You know what I'm saying? Had to smack a little huncho today. Little huncho out of nowhere. So we doubled that. I instantly got out. I don't like to, I always say don't be greedy, right? So and it's crazy because if you did not get out, within this 5 minutes, you gave away everything. So once I seen it break my level, and then obviously came up right to where our other levels were, which we had some confluence right here in between this 204 and 205, like right in here. So I basically, I was just like, all right, cool. And then it made me grin on the day again. So I'm like, all right, bet, cool on that. Especially because like I said, you don't always gotta trade every day. You don't always gotta catch everything. So I didn't plan on trading anything else. So I'm like, it's whatever, bro. So I was just gonna eat the L basically. But yeah, so this got me back pumping. So I'm like, all right, bet. So after I finished cleaning up, in the chat, I'm like, oh yeah, I see it, right? So I had already given this target. I was on the plane, the 5-day SMA. I was like, all right, your target is your 5-day SMA. That's your target, right? Because we lost previous day's close, and we lost previous day's low as well. So once we started, because we got the bounce right at previous day's lows, right? We had a little previous day's low, we had a little bounce, and then it couldn't reclaim, right? And remember what I always say, like if you do want to take these kind of moves, like okay, cool, double bottom, I understand that if you took it, but remember you always want to see continuation. So if there is no continuation, it's a failure. If you did take those calls, you got to be careful and get out of those. Because you did get, end up selling off towards the end. But like I said, I missed most of this, so this is all kind of in hindsight. But by the time I got on, right, probably around whatever time this was, right, this I was like, yeah, the play. This is the play. This is the play. This is the play off of the 5, bro. And then look, come on, off the 5. So we ended up smacking crazy off of that one. There we go. Hold on, let me pull it up. I think 160%. I had 605 calls and 606s or 607s and 60 something. Let me see. But yeah, ended up smacking crazy on those. Basically, I just peeped it. I peeped the different algos, right? So remember, we have the different kind of algos. We have the aggressive buying, we have moderate buying, moderate selling, and aggressive selling, right? So the market's gonna rotate in between pretty much 4 different cycles, right? Pretty much 4 different cycles. We're aggressively going up, We're going in this side, kind of sideways-ish channel, but we're still going up, moderate buying. Jeez, I cannot draw. You know, somewhat going down, and then you have the aggressive selling, right? So the market is going to ping pong in between either one of those four. So once you start to realize that, like, it's not really many ways the market can go, right? Up, down, sideways, you know what I'm saying? You don't really have any options. So once I peeped it, I'm like, all right, cool, we broke out of this one. I missed this original pump, right? Because like I said, I was busy just, doing whatever, and just was like, bro, I'm not gonna try to chase this because I missed it, right? I missed almost everything. So I'm like, bro, I'm not gonna chase this. So yeah, there we go. Couldn't find it for a second. So I had the 707s, we smacked those, and then I got the let me see. I caught 100% a few times today. I ain't gonna lie. Yeah. There we go. And then I caught 113% on the 706s. So, and basically got out at the top as well. So once we swept that high, I was like, remember whenever we start to get those reversals, you always want to target, or bear traps, or whatever the case may be, you always want to target that recent swing high, right? Because that's going to be your confirmation. If you can get over it, right? Let's say, right here, all right. Let's say if you could get over it and hold and retest and break out continuation, then you got to take it to the next level, and you play it level to level to level. So because we hit our level, there was no point in being greedy, right? So I literally got out at literally almost the top right here. I think right here. 214. Yeah, I got out at 214. So once I seen it, because at the end of the day, you don't want to get trapped, right? You don't want to sit through all this and then you hold and hope and you get something like this, right? So I didn't even want that chance. Like I said, I had no intention of trading today, but the move is just too beautiful. Off the 5, broke out of the downward channel, and then back into this one, right? Back into the, like I said, you have the aggressive selling, you have moderate selling, your little sideways. You only have so many channels that you can have for the algos, right? So I peeped this algo and I was like, all right, cool. We fell, got right back in, consolidated some more. So what am I gonna take? I'm gonna take the calls off the break, right? So it was very, very simple play, and thankfully it was very quick, so we didn't have to wait too long. End of day, so yeah, so it ended up being overall being a good day. It was pretty crazy, and then this happened right here, right? And then Iran was like, yeah, and it's crazy because all the way up right here, I said, bro, start buying time. I'm telling everybody, buy time, spam calls right now. So they ended up going, it still ended up getting like 20-30%, but yeah, this happened, and they were like, oh, basically, Iran, this, the back and forth stuff that's been going on with the war. So basically, I was like, hey, if this closes under this 5, probably gonna be invalidated. Also because the 5-day coincides with being underneath this channel, right? Remember this daily resistance we have up here? All right, remember we still have this from the first all-time highs, when that trend line we've been kind of hugging, and then we sold off too. So we're above it, right? But we're still in between both of them. So it's a very tricky place because it can go both ways, right? So that's why I was like, okay, if it closes underneath this, might be invalidated. But because we were able to secure, profit off the zeros and the blank, and then the 1 and 2 DTEs, I left a few runners, I ain't gonna lie, because it flew back green anyway. So the point of the zeros basically paid the 1 and 2 DTEs a free trade. So I was like, bro, whatever, bro, I'm just take it. All right, I'll swing a few, because even if they go red, I'm still green. You know what I'm saying? So, and because like I said, we're at this weird inflection point, and another reason, right? How many times have we had a bear bull trap? In the past, this whole basic run up, right? We've had bear traps over here. We've had bear traps right here. This was a beautiful bear trap. Bear traps right here, right? What if this is just like I said, a bigger bear trap, right? And they're just building liquidity off of the 5. Remember I said, I don't know if it was live, or I always forget if it's live or when I said in the video. But I was like, hey, eventually when we pull back, we need to test that 5-day SMA, right? That's my first sign of, all right, now we can get a test. So initially, the 5 days been trending up, all the EMA's moving up. So if we get scooped off of it, we can just continue right up, and this could just be a bear trap, right? We get back above that trend line, right above, I guess we can use today's close, right? So today's close, we can get back above that, right? Hold above that and this trend line as well. See, look, this trend line's kind of what's been holding us, right? So I'm like, okay, what if this is just a bear trap? So that's why I ended up swinging. And like I said, once we hit on the zeros, I kept saying, buy time, please buy time. Because like I said, if this fails, this 5 day will come up here and 5 day will turn into resistance, right? We won't be able to get back above, blah, blah, blah. We fall down, we know which levels to go to, right? But that'll be enough time for us to decide, okay, do I want to take this, like I said, if we gap up, do I want to take this small green? You know what I'm saying? Do I want to trim more? And it gives you more time to, kind of not be nervous and not get too emotional. So basically, if we do get back above this, first target is going to be that 708.75, right? The same level we couldn't get above Monday. Yeah, my fault. Monday, yeah. Bear with me. Like I said, I haven't slept. Been flying, yes. Tired. But, that'll be our first target above 708. Anything between 708 and 710, don't touch, right? Remember, don't diddle in the middle. That zone in the middle, look, we failed it one time here, failed it, and then, you know what I'm saying? So it's a very, very tricky zone in there. So in between 708, 75, 710, watch that zone. It's going to be your first upper target. Anything below that, right? If we come up here and we can't hold, or even if we consolidate below, watch that 706, right? And the 5 day, like I said, will be up here as well. So you'll watch the 5 and, watch those same levels. And if it turns into resistance, higher time frame, 15, 30 minute, an hour, we just can't get back above, your next target is, right? Back down here. 702 to 700, right? So this will be your next zone. And look, you got the trend line down here as well, right? So if we do go downside, we have the downside targets, and if we go upside, and this is put that back. If we go back upside and it does break out, we're going to be obviously looking to target those all-time highs, possibly getting like a inverse head and shoulder type of vibe, right? So that's what I'm saying. I hope we gap up just for this to play out over the next 2 days, because we have Thursday calls. So yeah, we'll see how that plays out. But I ain't gonna lie, that'll be fire, right? It's just a little right, and then we just continue to go higher something this week. So that actually would be ideal, would be beautiful. But like I said, you gotta have plans for both sides. So if it fails, like I said, I'll cut. If the 5 day comes up here and we end up using it as resistance, right? We can't get back above. I have no problem playing shorts, right? I'm not married to any kind of position, right? Doesn't really matter to me. But yeah, we're smack in the middle, right? We're kind of we're right in the middle of this channel, right? We've been in this channel literally since the pump started. All right. All right, let's put that right in the middle. Bang, right there. See, we've been just up trend line, upper trend line, upper trend line, upper trend line. So that's why I'm like, okay, either this is gonna be a bear trap, or most likely if we do come down here, this is going to be a bear trap, right? And then we'll get it from here. So either way, I feel like I said, I don't know for sure, but I'm just saying based on what we've already seen before. One of these might be a little bear trap. So obviously we'll wait, we'll be patient, we'll figure it out, we'll see. But yeah, man, pretty simple day, man. Surprising day, actually. That was crazy. I was like, I even said in chat, I was like, yeah, I'm just going to take the L for today, because I couldn't close those calls that open. So I was like, yeah, I'm red today, so I'm going to have to just take that. And then T-Mobile said, and then, yeah, I was like, okay, I got a little groove back. So I'm like, all right, I might well want to take this. So, yeah, and then, like I said, we already identified our channel, our aggressive selling. So, any kind of break and retest of that was just going to be fun anyway. And so we got the, look, boom, off the bottom. And then breakout, retest happened to be where? The 5. So we reclaimed. Excuse me. So yeah, that's why we took those calls. And like I said, even though the Iran news came in, we already secured profit on the way up, right? We already taken profit. I already was like, hey, I'm out of zeros fully. I even said the plan of the zeros is to cover the 1 and 2s, you know what I'm saying? Just in case something crazy happens at the end of the day. Because we know volatility comes in at the end of the day. So yeah, and it did. So we got that. And then Trump was like, oh, actually, we'll give y'all a pass. And then the market shot back up. So yeah, it's so crazy, bro. I was like, what if they just say we didn't say that? And then literally as I'm typing it in the chat, I get an alert. We're back over 606. So yeah, like I said, we're still in this weird zone. So don't be on my fault right here. So anything in between, like I said, that 606 to 702-ish, you got to be careful in here, right? Got to be careful, because above it, like I said, we're bullish. Below it, we probably get that pullback. But in between, we don't know, right? We literally came down, tested it today, kind of got the tested breakout of this right here, right? The previous levels that remember I said a lot of levels that we test in pre-market, they want to be tested as well in regular hours. So we hadn't tested none of this over here yet. So that's what I'm saying. Like, if they do want to come down here and scoop that up, they can, and it would also be coinciding with the bottom of the channel. So yeah, we're just gonna be patient, figure it out. Like I said, I'll be live tomorrow. I didn't go live today. I didn't go live today. I couldn't, man. I couldn't. My cat, yeah, it was bad. It was bad. There's toilet paper everywhere. So I was like, bro, I can't. But yeah, pretty much probably be it. About to gamble. About to put in some slips on the Rockets. Of course, we got KD back. So that last game was a fluke. I ain't gonna lie. Look, ESPN gonna tweet out talking about some. Oh, Kevin Durant can't miss in warm-ups. Hour later, Kevin Durant not playing. Bro, I'm hyped, bro. We turned up, bro. We at the game. We in there chilling. Got drinks, we got the view. Some channels up, bro. And then, boom, Kevin Durant not playing. I had to just take a seat. Sat there. I was like, nah, ain't no way. Ain't no way they finna get it to LeBron. Vegas said, hey, look, man, you gotta sit down. But anyway, I'm sorry. I just went on a little tangent. I'm tired, delusional. But yeah, keep it simple, man. Keep it simple. Let me look at something real quick, just to see if I can see a play while I'm on here right now. Let's just see. And this one we can be like, oh, we caught this on live. I mean, we caught this on video. Because sometimes I'm only used to doing this on live, catching them on live, because we're all live trading. Ooh, whiskey. Hold on. It's a groovy beat. Yeah. Yeah, because yeah. And this is like I said. Remember, we have the aggressive buying, we have the moderate buying, we have the moderate selling, and then we have this aggressive selling right here. So the market's already in. It's in the third one, right? So if we break out above, then we continue. Right? We break out of the aggressive selling. Look where we are. All right. And this could just be, like I said, this could just be building liquidity for that next leg up, right? So if that's that, like I said, yeah, this is perfect. So yeah, we do break out over 708, come back and kind of test. As long as we break out, hold 710, we're going to new all-time highs for sure. But you want to make sure, like I said, don't jump the gun. But it's like I said, if this, then that, right? If this happens, then this happens. Don't just be like, oh, K said we going all-time highs. No. If this happens, then this, right? So if this, then that. So yeah. That'd be smooth. But like I said, anything under here, like I said, they can just we can chill under here, grab more liquidity off the bottom, all right, and then pop back up. But either way it goes, we're gonna catch it. Yeah, we're definitely catching this one. This is gonna be light work tomorrow. Yeah, we're sandwiched in between two levels. We got our 5 right here. We got our key. Yeah, literally, the market's giving us each range, right? We literally have all the ranges over smooth. All right, yeah, I'm gonna end it here because this video is gonna be huge and I'm gonna have to splice it and take forever to upload it. So, see you.